If it's Friday, it can only mean one thing, and that's the Travel Today wrap-up with me, Steve Jones, and my colleague Anne Majumdar, with this week's pick of the stories from the travel industry. As a chief executive who's just announced plans to axe 1,000 jobs and who is already the subject of fierce union criticism, probably the last thing you need are revelations that you enjoyed a whopping 71% increase in your pay package. That the pay package amounts to $5 million. Yes, you heard right, $5 million. Makes it all the more unpalatable for some. Qantas chief executive Alan Joyce would have had calls of fat cat ringing in his ears all week after these figures were published in the airline's annual report. Each year at annual report time, this story tends to do the rounds, but it doesn't make it any less valid. And of course, this year we've got the additional spice of the job losses. Qantas argued that the 5 million figure was a tad misleading, in that it included potential earnings relating to shares. The figure was only included in the report to meet accounting standards. Joyce's take-home salary was in fact a paltry $3 million. That's 9% below the previous year. Qantas also said that Joyce's salary was not excessive compared to other Australian companies. As CEO of a company whose every move is almost obsessively picked over in Australia, I've no question that Joyce is under intense pressure and works all hours God sends. However, that monthly paycheck perhaps will go some way to making it worthwhile. Peak Adventure Travel Group, the joint venture between Intrepid Travel and German travel giant TUI, will bring one, possibly two, and maybe even three brands to Australia over the next few months. Details are pretty sketchy at this stage, but we revealed yesterday how one operation is in the process of being launched, and that will have a style of travel as its USP, with another business which will focus on a particular demographic in the exploratory stage. The third brand which could arrive in Australia is an existing Peak business called Country Walkers, and that runs high-end walking tours in Europe for the American market. We'll keep you posted on all developments with that story.
This week it was Tourism Australia's turn to brush up reports of doom and gloom. MD Andrew McAvoy called 2011 a remarkably good year, as new figures showed the number of visitors to Australia were up 3%, with business customers up 9%. Expenditure rose by 5% and visitor nights were up by 4%. This was despite the year's natural disasters, strong Aussie dollar and economic uncertainty in Europe and the US. Asia-Pacific nations continue to drive the growth, in particular China, Malaysia, India, Singapore and Indonesia. The Australian Tourism Export Council's Managing Director Felicia Mariani called the figures a strong endorsement of TA's focus on these emerging markets, but stressed that a strong identity was essential to make the most of the growth. Meanwhile, Magellan Travel Group has reported an 84% increase in net income, taking it to $3 million for the 2010-11 financial year. Chief Executive Andrew McFarlane said the network was looking to grow its membership to 75 agents by the end of 2012, with an ideal figure of 100 agents overall. And now to sport. This afternoon sees the kick-off of the Rugby World Cup over in New Zealand. Excitement's been building, but hasn't been shared by official agents who have reported disappointing sales. The Christchurch earthquake was a massive blow for the event, but the recent Wallabies Tri-Nation Cup win gave sales a huge boost, according to Adventure World, who's been offering 2-for-1 places on its MS Volendam cruise ship. Along with We Love Rugby, they'll be crossing their fingers for a good performance by the Wallabies to bring some last-minute sales flooding in, no doubt.
Thanks for that, Anne. That's it for now. Thanks again for watching. Good luck to England in the Rugby World Cup, which of course kicks off today. Not that we'll need much luck on our march to glory. We'll be back with another Travel Today wrap-up, same time, same place next week. Until then, have a great week. Take care.